Welcome back. Relief has come the way of the March 8, 2017 victims who were caught in the conflict between the Hausa and Yoruba-speaking communities in Ile-Ife, Osun State. This comes on the heels of the donation of over 50 million naira made by the Dangote Foundation in Ile-Ife, Osun State. About 250 victims benefited from the package.
This room is filled with men and women from the Hausa and Yoruba communities in Ile-Ife, Osun State. They're here to receive their package from the Dangote Foundation few months after the clash that claimed many lives and destroyed property. The arrival of the Oni of Ife, Obadeye Yohusi, and the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi, set the agenda for the day. The managing director of the foundation, Zuera Yusufu, explained that the beneficiaries were drawn according to the degree of loss encountered during the clash.
What we've done, just to give you a little bit of background, is we have identified together with the team from the Oni's Palace and the Hausa community a list of 220 people who were victims of the violence. All of these people will receive a check that matches what their losses were that was communicated to us.
The traditional rulers agreed that the donations could not have come at a better time. They also commended the Dangote Foundation for the prompt response.
I would like to thank Alhaji Aliko, the president of Dangote Group, for the manner in which he responds to humanitarian crises, to the manner in which he assists the poor.
This is another proven example of positive collaboration between the private sector, the monarchy system. We shouldn't put everything in the hands of government.
The beneficiaries got checks ranging from 200,000 to 2.4 million naira.
It's going to help our business. There are some he don't get any 1 kobo. Now he's still like 500,000, 300,000. The business he's doing before you continue now.
I was very happy when they said Dangote was coming today to give us checks, so I was very happy. In fact, I'm excited.
This gesture by the Dangote Foundation is one out of many corporate social responsibilities, which is aimed at touching the lives of less privileged Nigerians. It's also expected that the monies will help the beneficiaries get a fresh start.
A new entertainment and gaming company, Western Lotto Nigeria Limited, has made entry into the Nigeria market space. Western Lotto, a number-based lottery which provides a bouquet of international games like UK Lotto, Powerball, Euro Million and more, is set to carry less risk as participants spend as little as 100 naira to win great prizes weekly.
Creating wealth and making wealth while being entertained is a rare combination, but it's achievable. That space and opportunity has been taken up by the latest entertainment and gaming company, Western Lotto.
This product is going to be a first-class product in Nigeria.
If the array of guests and representatives from Hollywood is anything to go by, then something significant has been birthed.
Western Lotto Nigeria Limited is a Nigerian company with international partners who have a track record of performance and integrity in the international lottery business. We are committed to promoting best practices in our operations as we positively impact lives through good causes.
Western Lotto is a lottery system based on numbers, and it's a game of chance, bearing less risk and giving you the opportunity to spend as little as 50 naira and winning big weekly.
All you need to play is to have any internet-enabled device, and they are guaranteed winnings on a weekly basis, provided you match the jackpot numbers. And the time will come, we'll have jackpot sizes significantly higher than 15 million.
Internationally recognized games will be on the platform: Powerball, Euro Millions, Euro Jackpot, UK Lotto and Mega Millions.
So the jackpot, what comes out, is not the only money. Like you don't see, like for example, in my country, like 80% of the money that is revenue is just going for a lot of the communities, for the sport, for the sponsorship. So sometimes you have to give a push to the country's government, and also the government is also taking taxes. Also, this is very important. So we also would like to partnership also and to help some funds.
Western Lotto is licensed by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission in Nigeria to operate terrestrial and online platforms for gaming activities.
Let's get more from the world of business now with Millicent Walker.
Thanks, Marathi. Welcome to Business News. $483.4 million. That's how much Nigeria's Debt Management Office plans to use to service its foreign debt over a 10-year period. According to its 2016 annual report, it hopes to make repayments starting from next year. As its dollar debts begin to mature, the debt office projects total debt service repayments of $4.47 billion to be made in 2018, 2021 and 2023. In the meantime, the DMO report indicates that Nigeria's debut $500 million bond will mature in 2021, while a $1 billion will be due in 2018. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing has said that he is not fighting with the National Assembly, but only had a mere misunderstanding with them. The Works Minister told State House correspondents that his disagreements with the lawmakers over the ministry's budget should not be misconstrued as a personal fight, but one geared towards finding best ways to implement the economic recovery and growth plan.
There's no problem between me as an individual and the National Assembly, and let me make that very, very clear. Many of the senators and honorable members are my personal friends, so you don't fight your friends. But we have a disagreement, and let me set the context of that disagreement. The context of that disagreement is that you will remember that when President Buhari launched the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, it had enormous support from the leadership of the National Assembly, Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So it means that we all agree that there's a problem. Now, there's also a disagreement, which I don't think should make us disagreeable, about the best way to implement that plan. And I think that is all that there is to it. It is perhaps possible that in the heat of the moment, while trying to canvass our different positions, we are misconstrued as fighting, but I'm not fighting anybody.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, speaking there. EcoBank Research today released a report that concludes Nigeria's new gas policy has good intentions but needs strict implementation. The new report, however, says the most important thing about the document ratified about 2 weeks ago by the Federal Executive Council is what happens next. Analysts at EcoBank Research says the positives of the gas policy include a series of steps mapped out by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the drafting of a new petroleum legislation that will include elements from the gas policy, among other things. In the downstream subsector, the report sees some positive changes in consumer behavior of switching from kerosene to liquefied petroleum gas if the government introduces its pilot program of free cylinders and gas cookers to boost local LPG consumption. The bullish streak in the Nigerian bourse persisted for the fourth consecutive session as bargain hunting in value stocks persisted. Here's Bisi Adebayo with details of today's trading.
Equities at the local bourse sustained the recovery from last week into the fourth session on Tuesday. Similarly, the volume of shares traded increased by over 36 million units from Monday's figure to 218.76 million in 4,991 transactions. All major indices, particularly the banking sector, finished in the green, while the all-share index edged up by 0.65% with a higher market cap of 11.31 trillion naira. Again, mid-cap equities dominated the price chart with Nemeth, Vitafilm and Okomo Oil in the lead of 24 gainers. On the flip side, Union Bank of Nigeria, Presco and Cadbury were the most significant losers in a list of 20. UBA, Niger Insurance and Zenith Bank are the day 3 most actively traded stocks for the day. And that's it on the stock market reports. I'm Bisi Adebayo.
European markets ended mostly lower on Tuesday as investors reacted to disappointing industry surveys and kept a close eye on fluctuating moves in the oil price. But let's see the rest of the global markets. That's Business News Tonight. It's back to you, Marathi.
Nigeria's foremost regulator in human resource practice, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, is set to improve its service delivery by upholding professional ethics and engaging the public and private sectors of the economy. Speaking at the CIPM's investiture of its 18th president, the new president, Mr. Udom Inoyo, promises to initiate extensive collaboration in line with the CIPM's mandate of becoming a foremost people's management institute in Africa.
I said human resources practitioners, board members of the CIPM and dignitaries all in one room. The mission is simple. It's the investiture of the 18th president of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. This signals the dawn in the regulating of human resources practice in Nigeria. It's time for stock taking in human resources service delivery in Nigeria. The immediate past president gives his account of stewardship in driving the Institute's vision towards its objectives.
We've automated internal processes, all for a seamless membership experience, and most definitely raise the bar in the way we run every aspect of our operations.
The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, is the chairman of the occasion. In his keynote address, he calls for a public-private sector collaboration while challenging HR practitioners on strategies of molding a results-driven workforce.
The cardinal goal of Institute of Personnel Management is the promotion and regulation of the practice of human resource management in Nigeria. This is laudable given the issues that are already raised and also aligns with the vision of my government for a well-structured and efficient public service, manned by a competent workforce that delivers significant value to our people.
The symbolic moment, the investiture of the 18th president of the CIPM, Mr. Udom Inoyo.
As a regulator of a profession that is responsible for people management, we need to strengthen our partnership with government and other stakeholders.
Mr. Inoyo is obligated to prove his mettle as he settles in for work. And first on his agenda is to help build a vibrant workforce in the nation.
Mr. Udom Inoyo and his wife.
The chairman of the House Committee on Police Affairs, Representative Haliru Jika, says unless the issue of funding of the police is addressed, every attempt to curb corruption within the force will be futile. As part of the views put forward during a public hearing on a bill seeking to establish the Nigeria Police Reform Trust Fund.
The top hierarchy of the Nigerian police force and other personnel of the agency make up a large part of those gathered for this public hearing in the House of Representatives. It's on a bill seeking to establish the Nigerian Police Reform Trust Fund for training of police personnel and provision of equipment for the force. For the lawmakers, the bill is necessary as the federal government appears unable to adequately fund the police force.
Until the Nigerian Police Reform Trust Fund bill is passed, every attempt towards curbing corruption within the force will be a wild goose chase.
The annual budgetary provision for the Nigerian police has not been adequate to cater for the need of the force, considering the rise in the act of terrorism, kidnapping, and menace of herdsmen and other violence crimes.
The Inspector General of Police gives a breakdown of the level of underfunding the police have been getting from yearly budgets.
What is most worrisome is that though the budgetary allocations on paper are insufficient to meet the financial needs of the force, the actual releases are far below what is budgeted. in the 2016 budget, less than 30% of the allocation was released to the police.
He, however, has some amendments to the proposed bill.
It is important to state here that restricting the police Trust Fund bill to a period of 6 years, as provided in Section 2.2 of the bill, is not in the best interest of the force and the public. Putting it on the timeline, we believe it should be, just like other bills, it should be effective continuously because of some of these challenges we have in the force.
The bill has the support of almost everyone gathered, though with some observations.
We have done a lot of reform in the past, not only in the police, everywhere. What is needed now is action. We want to implement, and the way to implement is by supporting the police with adequate funding for their operations.
The appointing authority for the board and for the executive secretary should be reviewed. We will prefer a situation where the president should be the appointing authority and the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be the confirming authority.
The committee also took contributions on a proposed bill seeking to amend the Explosives Act, which set out to provide stiffer penalties for defaulters of the law regulating the handling of explosives in the country.
My singular honor
Lanre Lasisi,
to invite His Excellency,
Channels Television News.